Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Jay is off tonight. 11 votes to 10. One single vote now sending Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the full Senate. But in the meantime, the FBI will begin its investigation into the sexual assault allegations against the nominee for U.S. Supreme Court judge. Now, the agency will have 1 week to untangle a mess that's created bitter partisanship on Capitol Hill. That's where we find CBS's Angelica Alvarez.
President Trump ordered an FBI investigation into his Supreme Court nominee, Judge Brett Kavanaugh. The move comes after an unexpected request from the Senate Judiciary Committee.
You're telling all women that they don't matter.
Committee member Jeff Flake of Arizona took heat from protesters after he said he would vote for the nominee, and then from fellow Republicans when he had a change of heart, ultimately demanding the investigation in order to support Kavanaugh.
This country's being ripped apart here.
His friend, Democratic Senator Chris Coons, played a pivotal role in settling Flake's concerns.
At one point, I literally went into a phone booth with Jeff so the two of us could have a conversation without everybody else.
I think we had a good outcome, and I hope that next week we have a process that people can be proud of.
The FBI investigation will focus on the current allegations against Kavanaugh and take no longer than a week to complete.
In a few more days, after a few more delays, we will finally vote to put him there and say enough with the games.
A lawyer for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford said she welcomes the investigation, and Kavanaugh says he will continue to cooperate.
All 51 Republican members of the Senate support the motion to proceed.
Late Friday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell moved Kavanaugh's nomination past a procedural hurdle, but a vote won't happen until the investigation is complete. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the Senate is adjourned until 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. Today, senators in Montana and Wyoming revealed how they will vote. Senator Jon Tester stated in a news release, quote, "I have deep concerns about the allegations of sexual assault against Judge Kavanaugh. I'll be voting against him." Senator Steve Daines tweeted his support, quote, "Very proud to share that the great people of Montana are standing behind him, and I look forward to casting my vote to confirm him." Senator John Barrasso stated, quote, "I continue to support his nomination to the Supreme Court." And Senator Mike Enzi has not committed his vote. He says, quote, "As the Senate moves forward, I will continue to carefully consider all of the information before us." Well, if you haven't gotten your Real ID driver's license yet, here's some good news. The Department of Homeland Security has granted Montana another extension. Now, this means that Montana-issued driver's licenses or ID cards can still be used for flying, accessing federal facilities, and military bases through June 2019. Montana's Motor Vehicle Division will begin issuing Real ID compliant cards this coming January. Now, before you fill in your ballot this election year, MTN wants you to be informed. On that list, the race for Montana's lone U.S. House seat. You'll have a chance to hear from all three candidates live tomorrow night. Q2 Samantha Sullivan is in Helena getting ready for that debate. Sammy.
That's right, Jeanelle. We are preparing for tomorrow's live U.S. House debate between the three candidates vying for Montana's lone U.S. House seat. That's incumbent Republican Greg Gianforte, his challenger Democrat Kathleen Williams, and Libertarian Eleanor Swanson. This is the first live televised debate between these three candidates, and they are expected to answer questions on issues facing both Montana and the country. That includes trade, tariffs, taxes, and gun rights. That debate is tomorrow at 6 p.m. on your local MTN station. For now, Jeanelle, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Sammy. Again, that debate 6 p.m. tomorrow night on Q2, as well as all MTN stations across the state. In other news tonight, the Miles City School District says it will work around the clock investigating what took place decades ago surrounding a former athletic trainer accused of sexually abusing boys. At a district meeting last night, the school board chair said coaches and administrators are in shock and they are dedicated to finding out what acts took place. A civil lawsuit is in motion charging James Doc Jensen of sexually abusing boy students during his employment from 1970 to 1998. Jensen still lives in Miles City. The Montana Department of Justice launched an investigation as hundreds of victims could be affected. Jensen has not been charged in those alleged crimes due to Montana's statute of limitations law on sex crimes. Now, the Miles City Unified School District is also named in that suit. Last night, officials said in the coming months, the district will take part in all of this case. Turning to weather, Bob, we are expecting more snow in Montana this weekend.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me show you how much snow we already got in our neck of the woods. Let me show you here. As you can see, we picked up a little bit of snow in Story, Wyoming, 5.7 inches of snow this morning. Bighorn, Wyoming, 4.1 inches. Burgess Junction picked up 4 inches. Sheridan, they had 2.5 inches of snow. And over in Claremont, Wyoming, 2.4 inches of snow. It was a big snowstorm. Now, you'll notice we got some more coming in into the Front Range of the Rockies on Saturday morning through Sunday, 3 p.m. Looking for 3 to 6 inches of snow up there by Great Falls. Local amounts up to 12 inches. And winds, they'll be howling at about 45 miles per hour. So here's how the whole thing's going to play out tomorrow. Look for the northwest corner of the state to really get some rain and snow there throughout 6 p.m. And then after that, that whole thing starts traveling towards the south, and a new batch of moisture moves in from the southwest. And that's the stuff that'll start to make its way into the Billings area. We'll have more of that coming your way in a few more minutes. Jeanelle?
All right. Thanks, Bob. Clean up your property to keep bears out of trouble. That's the message from biologists as we move into a change of seasons. Bears are out looking for food and many times find it in the wrong place. Fish, Wildlife and Parks experts say don't be surprised to find a bear in your area, but to keep them safe and you, it's best to pick up and remove attractants. Store your garbage inside, remove bird feeders, horse pellets and livestock feed, and clean up apples and berries from your yard. If you're in the Billings area this weekend, there's a new opportunity to take in a bunch of history and have fun at the same time. A new celebration at Pompey's Pillar, the place where Captain William Clark carved his signature in sandstone in 1806. This new celebration replaces Clark Days, which was held in July in the heat of the summer. The very first fall festival starts at 7 Saturday morning with a bird walk. A 5K cross-country run on the monument grounds starts at 8:30. A pancake breakfast will follow at 10. Dancers, poets, musicians, and even a corn maze will make up the day's festivities. Now, admission is free on Saturday, and the Fall Festival runs until 4 p.m. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Butte is finally pulling the plug on the toxic waters of the Berkeley Pit. We'll look at their plan next. And in sports, Scott shows us which favorites cash in on a chilly football Friday.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.